Topic number 3 today, you had the opportunity to get these questions beforehand. There's no gotcha moments in this. We've got a businesswoman, Sandra. We have a Green Party representative, Joe, and Angela. She's with our Libertarian Party, the only platform right now to present ideas other than Republican and Democrat. So the U.S. global image under Trump, is it good? Is it bad? Angela?
I think there are two important points to be aware of in this. No, the global community right now has definitely spoken out against Trump. He's got record low ratings. It is what it is. But I think that the global community is responding to the United States and other major news networks' negative portrayal of Donald Trump. They're grossly negative and they're unbalanced. Has Donald Trump done some things that I don't like? Absolutely. I could give you a long list. But he's also done some really cool things. You know, he's brokered some great peace deals in the Middle East. He's deregulated some stuff in the United States that's been helpful for job growth and for people who needed experimental medication and things like that. I would also blame, the BBC and Al Jazeera on having negative news in addition to CNN.
Joe, one of the first things that we saw President Trump do, he flew straight to North Korea and he shook that man's hand. What does that say to the global stage with the rhetoric that we're hearing right now that on a global scale, he is very disliked?
The issue with the North Korea is he's very much into grandstanding. He likes to be able to go out and do the things that nobody else has ever done before. Kim Jong-un, he's very much in favor of things like that. That gave him a very big stage in order to promote North Korea on. The problem is with the rest of the world and the way it's perceived. In the 4 years since then, it's been a continuing deterioration. 2 times he managed to use his veto power against the House and Senate. Both times he did it to continue to enable Saudi Arabia to bomb children in Yemen. There's just no continuity with regards to one moment to the next with him, and it shows in the way it reflects in the opinion of the rest of the world about the United States. And unfortunately, Biden isn't any better. He's already made his point that he's going to continue the wars that happened under Obama, happened under Bush, that's continuing to cause problems with refugees in Europe. I mean, if you want to maintain homogeneity in your country, last thing you want to do is start bombing countries and send people running to yours because it's the only place safe from American foreign policy.
Sure. So Sandra, as a businesswoman, you're looking at a record number of peace deals under President Trump right now. But again, to get back to where we're talking about North Korea, then we'll move on to our peace deals. But North Korea, he went over there and he shook hands with that person. Since then, we haven't heard about them threatening to bomb us every week like they were. I mean, under President Obama's administration, we heard they're going to nuke us. They're going to nuke us. Those consistent threats from North Korea. So in that negotiation itself, did that strengthen the United States image from where it is today? I mean, how compare that image and what he did there, an accomplishment, whether we agree with his rhetoric or not, but his accomplishment to where we are today?
I don't think that you can deny he's a good businessman, and as a good business person, you know that relationships are important and key to your success. Now that he's just perceived in this really horrible way, and his approval rating in Latin America is 16%, which is, I think, to any standards, really low. But you will be surprised of how many Latin American people actually support him. So I think it comes from the circle you're in. I know, I'm when I talk to people and they're like, no, Trump is good. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, so it is a very controversial topic because you have so much, yeah, I think that he's done good, but I also don't think he's made peace with countries that we already were at peace at. So North Korea was a win. And I think that when you talk to Democrats about that, they were they had nothing back to say. So, but I think that the charisma is not there. And, I think that's something that hurts him, that he also puts his foot in his mouth all the time. So sure. Again, something that hurts him.
Sure. Just a few minutes left. Angela, to that point, we're looking at a second wave of peace agreements that have finalized with Trump in the Middle East. However, his rhetoric is something that a lot of people don't agree with. So should we judge him on a global scale of his accomplishments or his rhetoric?
Accomplishments. Who cares about rhetoric? I care about policy, and I care about whether or not people are getting bombed, whether or not we're getting closer to peace. World leaders are mad at Trump over things like he pulled out of the Paris Accord, and he's tried to decrease our involvement and support of NATO. That's an organization that shouldn't even exist. And I think that his pushing on that and decreasing our involvement in global meddling and policing is good for us, and it's good for the rest of the world. I wish that more people would judge those merits instead of, oh, we don't like his personality on Twitter. Well, whatever. I want to see a world, I want to see a freer world in my lifetime.
Sure. So, Joe, to that point, though, President Trump's accomplishments also include exacerbating the coal industry. I mean, we're looking at a lot of fossil fuels rebirth under President Donald Trump. Is that an accomplishment to go along with his international accomplishments as well?
If you're talking about negative accomplishments, then yes, they go hand in hand. One of the things I want to address Angela's issue on NATO. We ended up in a situation with Erdogan in Turkey where we very much came very close to war with Russia over incidences in Syria, and our allies, the Kurds, that have helped us in Iraq, helped us in Syria, helped us in Afghanistan. We continue to support these. He continues to support Erdogan against people that have done us great favors in the past. And the peace deals that he's managed to arrange, the last three of those were with countries that didn't have any active conflict going on at the time. It was an arms deal. Sign this peace treaty for me, even though you're not fighting, and I'll give you more weapons to fight the wars you are fighting. So I can't get behind his peace deals. I can't get behind his coal. I can't get behind his fossil fuel industry. And it sucks because I hate defending Trump on some of the other issues that come up. But on these, yeah, he didn't do the right thing.
Sure. So, Sandra, speaking from that standpoint in the world view, any leader of their country, I'm sure any of us would agree, would put their country first. He would put the leader of America, he puts his country first. Joe Biden has even said, I'm going to put America first. To that point, though, we do understand that there are videos of illegal immigration, or we're looking at undocumented immigrants. So from that standpoint, from a Latin American standpoint, should he be putting his country first? And does that matter if the rest of the world is mad?
There's actually data on immigrants actually giving more jobs and creating more jobs for American people. This country is a country of immigrants, whether you like it or not. We're all immigrants here, unless you're Native Indian American, you're an immigrant. So I think that's where it kind of like, it's hypocritical.
Angela, we look at, in our last 2 minutes, we look at the incarceration rate of these undocumented immigrants. That being said, a lot of them do have violent crimes on their record. So what say you on the immigration topic, where Trump has left us before Biden comes in?
Oh, Trump is just fulfilling Obama's policies and just increasing them. And if we would end the drug war, we would see less incentive for violent criminals to cross the border. And if we would end foreign wars abroad, then we would see less incentive for blowback and for people to want to come over here and harm us. Do I support Donald Trump's aggressive immigration policy? Absolutely not. But I believe it is the product of past administrations, and we need to stop underlying policies if we want to correct our immigration problems.
Sure. Joe, up in Idaho, you're very far away from this topic. I mean, to Sandra's point, people come across the border, they start companies and businesses. I mean, that's economic growth and prosperity for themselves, our country, and other countries. Is that a good thing? Less than 1 minute. Go.
When I was growing up, immigration was a big issue. We had migrant workers come through for the agricultural crops in Idaho all the time. So I'm going to stand with Angela on this. Policies since grew up here have changed drastically. They've affected the demographics. They've affected the ability of these migrant workers to come in and handle the agricultural work. We need to fix that. We need to address that. Trump has not. Obama has not. Biden will not. It's a no-win situation at this point.
I understand. Great. Thanks for coming on, guys. I really appreciate it.